So good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. Today I announced that Anita Gibson has been arrested, and another arrest is forthcoming under Florida's HALO law, Florida Statute Section 843.31, which became effective on January 1st of this year. This law creates a 25-foot buffer around first responders, prohibiting individuals from approaching within this area or harassing a first responder while conducting their official duty after a verbal warning. The Florida legislature enacted this statute to protect first responders from threats and interference so that these public servants can focus on their important duties. This arrest stems from a criminal incident that occurred on the afternoon of Tuesday, October 7th, outside of the IDEA Charter School located in the 1800 block of Bassett Road. Erica McGriff, a habitual traffic offender with revoked Florida driving privileges and a parent of an IDEA student, illegally parked her car in an intersection and left it running and unattended. Officer Holton, a JSO officer working as part of the Safe Schools program, attempted to lawfully discuss the matter with McGriff. She escalated the verbal conversation to physical violence. She violently resisted Officer Holton and eventually punched him repeatedly and bit him with such force that she left a bite impression on his forearm. Gibson and another woman pending arrest were originally spectators. Ultimately, however, they violated Florida law themselves by harassing Officer Holton and failing to provide him with a 25-foot area to safely detain McGriff, and after he gave them verbal warning to get back. They did not comply. Because Officer Holton was outfitted with a body-worn camera, his interactions with McGriff, Gibson, and others on scene were recorded. So I'll share that footage with you now, and additionally, a spectator on scene recorded part of the incident on a cell phone. Some of that cell phone footage has been posted on social media platforms. I will play that cell phone video after the body-worn camera footage is shown.
What are you doing? I need your license. I need your license. That's your car. I just want to get out of the car. Okay. Listen, you can get a ticket, or you can keep playing this game, you go to jail. I'm gonna give you one chance. You create the drama.
I don't want any drama. I want to go home and I want to. I just came to pick up my child.
Okay.
I just came to pick up my child.
You're making
That's all.
this right here for me.
Please don't grab me. Please don't grab me. Don't grab me. Sir, let me go. You hurting my baby. No, I'm going back to my car. Let me. Money. I mean.
You like a big
Please
deal?
don't do this in front of my child, sir.
You do it.
Take me to my car, please. I will. You don't have to curse me. I will, man. Don't. Please don't. You ain't got somebody. I'm not going to you. You got me. Stop. Come on, punch me.
Stay still. Go away from the game. Go away from the game. Go to jail. Go away from the game. Go to jail. Go away from the game. Go to jail. I'm about to put you on the ground. I'm about to put you on the ground. I'm about to put you on the ground. Get away from me. Get on the ground. punch me. I'm your fault. This is your 0245 Boston Road. She needs to go. Put her in my car. Put her in my car. She punched me and she bit me.
Amani needs to go outside.
Watch out, move. Put her in the car. Put her in the car. She's in the car. Listen to me. She's playing. Put her in the car. Put her in the car. You got 25 feet to get away from me, or you going with her? Get in the car. Get in the car.
Damn, you gonna kick me too up?
Get in the car and kick you.
So as a result of her actions on Tuesday afternoon, Erica McGriff was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, and operating a motor vehicle while having a driver's license that is revoked as a habitual traffic offender, which is probably what led to her refusing to give some of those things over in the very beginning. These charges are all third-degree felonies, each punishable by up to 5 years in Florida State Prison. Additionally, McGriff was cited for multiple traffic violations. So what's today's takeaway? If you violently resist our officers, if you punch them, if you bite them, you will be arrested. If you crowd and harass our officers or any first responder after a verbal warning, you will be arrested. JSO will always hold accountable those who violate the law. But this entire episode reaches beyond even law violations. It speaks to the breakdown of a civil society that are some in our community not only quietly accept, but actively promote. So beyond breaking the law, these adults committed these acts in front of vulnerable and impressionable school children. These adults modeled and normalized for school-age children not only breaking the law, but also lying to the police, violently resisting the police, punching police officers, biting a police officer, and harassing a police officer, and encumbering a police officer. Officer Holton was simply doing his job. Disappointingly, this negative modeling had direct consequences here. Currently, there's an active pickup order for a juvenile for making threats to shoot up Idea Charter School because of this incident. So JSO will not tolerate those who violate the law and victimize our officers or any member of our communities. These jobs are tough enough without all of that. So we reject the flawed theory promoted by some that this type of unprovoked violence is shown to police officers is somehow justified. I ask every member of this community who enjoys the privileges of a civil society, one organized by laws, to reject this flawed theory. No one is above the law. No one should be hurt or hinder a public servant doing the work that is a critical function to our community. So now I'll take any questions that you all may have.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
The black male with the beard, he was in the patterned shirt.
Yeah.
He had the umbrella that
Yeah.
represented the Alpha fraternity. Who was that?
He's one of the school administrators. So if you'll see, the school administrators were there trying to keep everyone back. And largely, in my opinion, they helped keep that officer at least with some sort of comfort level while he's engaged with that individual.
Where were the individuals in the video that were violating the halo?
So there was an elderly, an older lady wearing a pinkish red shirt. I believe at one point she used an expletive and said she wasn't even worried about the 25 feet. And then there was a young girl, you saw her come in later, after things started wrapping up a bit, you saw her come in later and grab the phone. She was one of the ones that was standing there with a lot of the chirping that was going on.
The one who got the phone, what happens to that person?
She's going to be arrested.
Oh. Also, you'd say the officer was doing his job, he followed all the JSO training?
Yeah, so the first thing we do before we even do this stuff, before we bring it out here, we look at it, we send it to our experts, our use of force experts, to look at everything that he does in that process. And he followed the rules, he followed the laws. It's shocking to me that you square up to fight a police officer just maybe when you're going to get a citation. You're probably going to end up going to jail because it's a third-degree felony for a revoked habitual traffic violator license. But it's remarkable to me that you're willing to stand up and go toe-to-toe, which is, I can't understand that.
Was the officer there doing traffic for the Idea School? And as far as, I know there was a scuffle getting her into restraint.
Yeah.
If you explain what took so long, and also, were there other officers, I guess, who were on the way?
He was the only one that was there. He was there by himself. There were other officers that were on the way, but sometimes if you're in different locations, it takes a little bit to get there. He was, I believe, I didn't speak to him directly. I believe he was trying to hold her until she kind of gassed out, and then eventually you saw, put her hands behind her back so he can get those handcuffs on her.
She was saying that she couldn't breathe. It was kind of hard to tell what exactly kind of.
Yeah, I'll give you a test. Jake, I'll give you a test. Go home and let your wife choke you and try to talk. You can see, you can hear whether someone's their airways being blocked or you can't talk. She could breathe. If you look underneath, you can see that his hands weren't even knotted together where he was pulling. He was just holding her to make sure that he could keep control of her. And it's pretty obvious he didn't want to go too far. He wanted to make sure that he followed the rules and made sure he did this the best way that he could. And I commend him for that. The hard part is this is not an easy job, and it's not getting any easier. Now, we all volunteer to do this, right? We want to do this because we love where we live. It's not an easy job, and it's making it more difficult when police officers come out here and try to affect the law lawfully and do the things that we're supposed to do, and then you get surrounded like that. It's dangerous. Anything can happen. So we want to make sure that we let folks know as part of a public service announcement that if you do this and you're asked not to do it, you're going to get arrested because we're going to review it and you're going to get arrested. I care about this community being safe, and I care about the police officers that work here being safe, which is very important. You have to have some comfort level that you're going to know that you can go out there, take care of your job, and go home safely. So we want to make sure people understand that.
Is this the first time JSO's made an arrest using the halo law?
This is the very first time, yes, sir.
Sheriff, to follow up on Tar's question,
Yeah.
Was he working the school zone?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't answer that.
Or was he just passing through?
No, he was working at school, not a school zone. So we have a safe schools program. You know, when after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas situation,
He was the resource officer then?
no, he wasn't a resource officer. We provide officers to schools in our city to do safe schools, to make sure the schools stay safe. And he was working in that with that program.
And then the initial reason he made contact with her again, if you just go over that?
She left her car unattended, illegally parked in the roadway, and it was still running. And I think this is just an assumption. I want to make sure we're clear on this. I think he saw that. Someone talked to him about that because that's part of his duties there when school's letting out. And when he began to approach and have the discussion, you saw how it played out from there.
So McGriff was arrested, the woman in the pink shirt, she was arrested.
Yes.
And the person who later in the video broke the Halo's violation to grab the phone, that person will be arrested.
Yes, and that juvenile has a pickup order for threatening the school.
So how does this work for officers? I mean, I know the Halo law's been in effect, but just as far as it would be more of a priority put on having that space so officers can do their job.
Yeah, so we'll train on it. We'll make sure we discuss, and they normally do that. You know, you get yourself in a situation like that, you normally say, get back, give me some space. But we'll train on it to make sure that they give that warning to get back. Sometimes if it's bad enough, Tariq, they're not going to be able to say, you have to give me 25 feet. They're going to say, get back, and that's going to serve as that warning to get back. So we'll train on it to make sure that happens, and we'll move from here. My hope is that we don't have those issues. I don't mind people, and I can tell you this, I don't mind people standing beyond 25 feet, videoing, or saying what you're going to say, because people are going to do that, and you have the right to say what you want to say. But if it gets to a point where it creates an uncomfortable level for our police officer who may or may not get hurt by someone in a crowd, then we have to draw the line.
Do you know the person who captured the cell phone video? Were they one of the people that violated the Halo law or no?
No, not that I know of. There were a lot of people that were standing there that weren't really even screaming. You know, there were just some agitators there, a lot of agitators there, and we were able to find the ones that definitely disobeyed that law. We'll make sure we don't just, you know, we don't want a scatter effect. We want to just point out the ones that violated that law and then take action from there.
Do you have any advice for the public? I guess they're witnessing an officer, in a physical altercation or whatever. Your sort of best advice in terms of what they should do to avoid violating this law?
Just make sure you stand far enough away and allow him or her to do their jobs. Like I said, it's a difficult job. It's not easy. Recently, things have changed dramatically. You know, cameras on everyone's cell phone, people want to get videos and post them. We understand, that's fine. It's part of the process, we get it. But my advice would be, don't get within that space. And when you're asked, or once he says get back, or she says get back, then get back. Get back, move away far enough so that he can continue to do his job or her job safely. We don't want them getting into a situation where they may find themselves hurt by someone that's watching. And that happens, and it has happened. And I'm thankful to the Florida legislature for passing this law, because it helps.
Discretionary law, though, as well, kind of like the administrator who helped wouldn't be charged, but the person who got too close would.
Well, when you have an administrator helping, standing there with an umbrella, just helping and trying to hold people back, you wouldn't charge that individual anyway, because part of it is being harassing. Not just standing there. You have to be able to be harassing them or doing something to make them feel like they're unsafe. They weren't doing that. There was others around that were. So it's not necessarily discretionary. You can look at the statute, follow the statute, see what it says, and apply the statute to the people that are violating it.
I think this carries on to that. And the person with the cell phone seems to also be within 25 feet.
Yep.
And is not,
Not saying a word.
so.
Not saying a word from what we could see. So, you know, she's recording. He says get back. Never agitated, never harassed, just standing there. And just standing there holding the phone is not necessarily harassment, right? We'd be in all kinds of problems. We'd be violating their rights then. But we would like for them to move back when asked. We'd like for you just to be moved to be 25 feet or beyond without even being asked, because of the climate sometimes that we find ourselves in.
And that makes sense, the discretionary nature, but the person's action
No, it's spelled out in the statute. Look at the statutes, 843, 843.31 in the Florida statutes. It talks about harassing behavior, not just standing there.
Okay, but like, taking cell phone video is not necessarily harassing videos. That's
No, I wouldn't call it harassing. People do it all the time.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.